Hey guys, we're here today to have a look at Tales of Argosa, a sword and sorcery adventure game, as it says in the cover. We also have the deck of signs, which is used in the game, and its oracle dice. Both are really good, and the art on the cards is amazing. I'll be showing probably them off on a later day. This video is probably going to have at least 2 parts to go over all the stuff I want to go over. So as usual, when I can, I'm going to show off the book. In this case, this is the Kickstarter version. There is a version from DriveThruRPG, which I will link in the description, of course, and to the creator's YouTube page, Pickpocket Press. We'll be going over, in this part, we're going to have a quick look at some of the character stuff, and I just want to show off the quality of the book. I just want to show off the quality of the book. So when you first open up the book, the first thing you're going to see is essentially a GM screen. And it's packed full of information that you need to know for basically all the most important things, and the things that are going to be quite common. But not only that, on the back cover, you have more. And as you can see over here, you have trauma tables. Yeah. So these are the kinds of things that will happen when you get crits. There's 2 types of crits. There's a crit 19, which gives you extra benefits, and a crit, obviously a normal crit 20. And the system it uses for attribute checks is roll under. So it can kind of get it might take a little bit of time getting used to doing both. We roll for hitting the AC. Say if you need to hit the AC of a character or a creature, say if it's 14, you then have to hit at least a 14 with your pluses added to it, or your minuses in case you have negative attributes and points. But with combat, you need to roll at least hitting the target's AC. So if a character has a 14 AC, you need to hit at least a 14 or more. And a crit 19 or crit 20. You know, it seems kind of weird, but it's really cool. All the weapons have different unique ways of inflicting damage on what they do. So that's when the trauma tables also come into place. Again, I just want to have a quick look at the book itself. The art is everywhere. It's beautiful. And we'll be going through the PDF now in a second. I just want to show this off on camera so you can actually see the type of quality you're getting. Which again, top quality. The pages feel amazing. They're thick, but not so thick they're stiff. Easy to grab onto, which is pretty important thing, because you got some games when they're made a bit cheaper because people just don't have the money, and they're, especially small games, they might go a bit cheaper to keep the cost of everything down. Oracle tools, excuse me. And this game also fully supports solo play inbuilt. So you don't really have to mess anything around. The cards we talked about earlier and the oracle dice also come into play with that. And here we are looking at the PDF. Let's go down through this. Here's some of the interior artists. So there's quite a lot of names. They put a lot of work into this. As you can see, probably a bit clearer on the PDF version is the background. This sort of etching all over. It looks great. And again, non-stop art everywhere. And you can see there's 262 pages, and it's insanely densely packed. Brilliant. What is Tales of Argosa? Tales of Argosa is a sword and sorcery inspired emergent play adventure game. Simple rules, fierce battles, and there's even mass combat in this, so it's pretty much everything covered. 9 classes: artificer, barbarian, bard, cultist, fighter, monk, ranger, rogue, and magic user. I'll go over a few of them, maybe 2 or 3 at most. There's a ton of stuff to get through in this book. Again, like I said, there's probably going to be multiple parts. The magic in this is like what they call DDM, dark and dangerous magic. Similar to DCC. So if your spell backfires on you, you're going to have to roll on a table and some sort of effect will happen. It could be a minor thing that wears off in a couple of days or a couple of hours, or, you know, you might be horribly disfigured. So it's dangerous. And again, it's dark. Like, magic is in borderline evil force, probably coming from somewhere, some other dimension. There's downtime rules, lots of stuff in there. It has a great solo support system in this. And again, just deck of signs and the dice that comes with this, at least the Kickstarter version of it. Let's go down here. Character creation. Roll 1d12 for races. 1 to 9 is human, 10 is dwarf, 11 is elf, 12 is halfling, or half scorn. D66 backgrounds, and the backgrounds again are grey. You know, your Ratcatcher, you get a +1 dex, you have bonus skills and stealth, and you get a cheese wheel. That's probably, you know, put that down and get some rats. Generate attributes, roll 3d6 7 times. It's for strength, dex, con, intelligence, perception, will, and charisma. And again, this is going to be up to the GM. You can put them where you want if you wish. I would roll mine through this, the way that's shown. And it also said you must have at least one attribute of 13 or higher and another of 15 or higher. If it's not, you may increase one to 13 and the other to 15 as required. And you may swap any two attribute scores. Choose your class. Obviously, that's going to be depending on your rolls or your skills. There's also a luck system in this. We'll go over that as we come across it. Hit points. In the hit points of this, you are generally going to be tougher at first level than you would be in other RPG games, but it levels out a bit more as you level up. Skills, class abilities, battle gear, armor class, your attack bonuses, your your bonus languages. If your intelligence is a -2 or 3, you are illiterate. Your age, your name. Obviously, you can pick your own. There's also a table in here, which is great, and you can add extra stuff like it says here, physical traits. All this stuff is found within this. And also, the cool thing with hirelings in this game is you can level them up, but as they level up, there's a chance they become like a main character. So maybe you could have them in the background. If one of them becomes a main character, they go off, like, I'll go off my own adventure. And then when your character dies, they can then pick them up. Or if a new player comes in, they can then pick that character up, so you don't have to really introduce them. Again, there's more backgrounds. There's D66, so, you know, it goes from 3 to 66. At your scores, this is what things mean. 3 to 4 on the attributes, it's -3, and it goes up to 21 to 22. Though I think the only way that happens is you get special bonuses inside the game. Luck rolls. At the start of adventure, the character's luck attribute is equal to 10 plus half the level rounded up. So at level 1, you've got 11. So these do come back as you use them, but the higher the difficulty and the level you get, you're probably going to use them more and more often, and they're going to recover the same rate. So at the beginning, it's going to be a little easier to get them back, but then obviously it's going to become more difficult. Luck returns at a rate of 1 long rest, or 1 point per long rest. Again, this system is full of ideas, and it says you do not have to do this exactly as it is. An example with some of the character creation stuff we'll go over now in a minute. The dwarves. Advantage when resisting poison and magic. Positive magical effects, however, provide only half the benefit, which I think is a good thing to have, because some systems, some races are naturally resistant to magic, but they get all the bonuses. It's still keeping with the resistance. May make a perception check to sniff out a single handful of silver or gold coins and or a single gemstone within close range. You're greedy, so you have to do will checks to not rob stuff, which I think is quite funny. Elves make advantage on dex checks, defensive checks. disadvantage on luck. They do not sleep. They enter basically a trance state during this time, but with a -3 on perception. So you can be on lookout, but you're kind of risking out. So halflings, they get advantage on stealth because they're small. Disadvantage on strength because they're small and they're not built like dwarfs. Increase your starting luck and AC by 1 point. Can't wield large weapons for obvious reasons. Half-scorn, they're basically like the orcs of this world, but they don't really look anything like orcs. They're sort of like a mix of apes, humans, and some weird fantasy creature. Classes and unique features. These are really cool. We'll go over a few now in a minute. There's also a way for you to basically create your own, and they're kind of common sense in how you would employ it, or how you would use them. I can give you an example later on as well. Artificer kind of does as an artificer you'd think they would. Tinkering around with stuff. Alchemy. If you want your setting to have a bit more oomph to it, you could employ this into it. I personally haven't used this in my games, but it's still great. I have no problem with if anyone wants to use it. It's your game, you can do what you want. But I think it'd make things a bit more powerful to do. Barbarian, I think, again, Conan. Hit points to their comp, multiplied by 2. Weapons, use all weapons except crossbows, light, medium, armor, shields, because they're not going to wear around plate armor because they're barbarians. Starting gear, great axe, which is 1d12, and hide armor plus 3 AC. The skills, athletics, wilderness, lore, plus roll 1d10 3 times. So you roll these. On a 1, you're going to get acrobatics. On a 10, you get some stealth. On a 5, you get divine lore, sorry. So each character can be a little bit different, plus your background skill. So maybe he started as a rat catcher, like we said earlier. He has an extra bonus to stealth. And here's how it levels up. Each level you get different things. And each class is going to be a bit different. Unique features. They all have something cool about them. So every class feels different and unique, and you can build them up differently as well from another of the same. They get +2 on melee attacks and luck rolls. Also reroll any fumble attacks. If you fail strength check, attempting a feat of physical power, including attack rolls, you may reroll it and does not cost a reroll. So there's lots of little things in here for combat and attribute checks. While born at level 1, your athleticism and survival skills grant you an advantage on wilderness and lore checks. Light armor grants +3 AC instead of +1. That was also shown up above. By level 2, you've seen enough to gain a 6th sense for hidden power, danger when you're ambushed. When you're ambushed or surprised, make a con check. Reroll available. On a great success, you act normally. And again, there's lots of terms going up here. They have a table for great success and terrible failures. So if you fail something really bad, it's going to have extra negative effects. But if you succeed on it, you get bonuses. And it's generally up to the GM how that can be employed. Yeah, so you can pause here and just read some of this if you wish. Otherwise, we'd be here for about a month. Yeah, I have created characters before. I got a dwarf fighter, halfling rogue, and a human cleric. Hit points equal to the con score, 2 times the level. Light, medium armor, they have shields. Starting class, you have a spear, chain shirt, +3 AC, and instrument if desired. And again, you have different skills you can get. So each one will have different skills. Some obviously you're going to have overlap when it's appropriate. Inspire greatness. The gift of the gab. Skilled in art of soliciting rumors. So this can be the bards. If you have, obviously, if you're going to pick a bard, you want to have good charisma score. But they are naturally just better. So that you can get more information out of people. Maybe you can find out things easier. You can convince people of things. Very good on getting extra hirelings. you know, instead of having your guys going out and die all the time. When using hirelings, you need to like think them as people with sensibilities, not just use them as zombies, cultists. Okay, these are basically your clerics or your priests, bludgeoning weapons, any weapons sacred to the cults at ethos. So you can create up your own cult. There's also several in here, and the gods that may follow. Light, medium armor, which is interesting because other games would usually have them with heavy armor. Heavy mace, chain shirt, and holy symbol as starting gear. And there you go. At the roll 1d10 3 times. Arcana, arcane lore, athletics, deception, detection, guard info, general lore, persuasion, watercraft, stealth, wilderness lore, and you start off with apothecary, divine lore. And you get different blessings and what they do. Roll d12, and then you see what you get. So the 1 is a blessed weapon. One weapon you touch counts as magical. It gains +1 to attack rolls for 1d6, 10 minutes. So from 10 to 60 minutes. Turn undead, and this is called turning, like you do in other games. You can, if you want, you can just have that picked automatically. Again, talk to your GM. If they want you to have certain things over others, if you want to just completely random, that's up to them really. Spell like blessings. If you roll 7 or 12, these are the numbers. These are the ones you're going to get. And that's going to be in the next page, I think it is. Oh yeah, all characters in this only go up to level 9. But it's very easy to go on beyond that, you know, just apply the same thing that you've been doing this whole time. Maybe cut off like gaining extra abilities and stuff like that. And ability score points. Example gods. Argona, the Star Maiden, is the goddess of health, wealth, happiness, and hope. In addition, she is venerated as a fierce protector of families, especially children, elderly, and other vulnerables. She is usually depicted as a beautiful raven-haired woman with stars of eyes and a comet-like tail. Ooh, Jesus. She sounds interesting. Related activities, weddings, births, carousing, trade deals, healing, illness recovery, the vending kit and kin. Her feast days is Thanksgiving, and it has more information on these. And if you start going against like the tenets and what you should be doing as like your cultist, your priest, wherever you want to put it, cleric, like in other games, your GM should take away abilities. So there's lots here. If you want, you can pause, you can read, because again, we'd be here all day. You have the fighter. Again, the fighter is the everyman, the every badass character. Think of it as your starting Dark Scrolls character. Your con is a little different to the others. You'll just have your con is your hit points equal to your con score plus level by 2, but your fighter is by 3. Weapons, all armors and shields, all starting weapons is either a longsword or spear, chain shirt, and a shield. Starts off with leadership, athletics, plus roll 1d12 3 times. So there's a little more you can possibly get. The fighters are adaptable. You can switch weapons, styles, and stances. And it's going to give you different ones here. At first level, you get the roll, and these are the ones you get. Each new level, you can choose one, or you can roll off again. And these are just like some of the skills and other stuff like that. Magic user, as you can see, the magic user is a deformed, scarred man. He has like some sort of tentacle, sort of whips. Half his face is burnt and scarred. He has a pistol out. Yeah, there's stuff in here for artillery and matchlock weapons, and it goes on and on. It feels like we'll be here for months. Like we're on page 33, and this has gone on for a while. So this is going to be several videos, I think, at least 2. Then you got the monk. Again, I think you can just pause and have a look at these. There's 9 classes in here. Ranger, I love Rangers. You get Beast Companion, and they have Ranger crafts, what different stuff they can do, which is going to be similar to the fighter in terms of the stuff you get, the abilities. Rogue. I wonder what a rogue does. Stabbing and stealing. Party bonds. This is cool. So instead of you trying to come up with random elaborate ways of how your parties are linked together, basically you have character 1 rolls, and that's the relationship to character 2. Character 2 rolls, that's a relationship to character 3. Character 3 rolls, that's a relationship to character 4, and so on and so forth. And the last one is the relationship to character 1. So if you have 3 people, obviously the third one's for the first character. It makes everything simple and quick, so you're all friends of friends. Usually. You're like in a riot together. Grifters, you're in a scam together. Bouncers in a tavern. You're involved in a caravan attack. You can decide if you were the attackers or the defenders, or you just witnessed it. Lone survivors of a battle. Slaves, the same master. Defenders in a siege. Bodyguards, bounty hunters. And obviously you can come up with your own as well. This just makes it a little easier. Unique features, every class gets them. You get 3 at least. Again, if you want to go beyond like level, it's up to the GM if they want to. You'd get one at like level 12 because there seems to be every 3 levels. And each one, or for the most part, has 3 versions of it. Again, this is going to be up to the GM if they want to roll on. Say if you choose, again, just armor training, you can roll the C, so you can roll a D6. 1 to 2 is 1, 3 to 4 is 2, and 5 to 6 is 3, or if you have a D3, you roll D3. Or the GM might just say you can pick which one of the 3. So there is a lot here. Yeah. So skills, you gain them at every other level. So 2, 5, and 8. And with the up here, with unique features, you get them at 3, 6, and 9. So you're always pretty much gaining something. So you're always developing a character forward. And plus, as you level up, you get new attribute bonuses, which you then put into, like, for example, in your strength, and your constitution, perception, and so on. Again, rerolls or something. Like, Shadowdark will use luck, and that can be used for everything. In this, they have rerolls. I think humans start off with 1 automatically, or equal to level. Yeah, I think everyone starts with equal level. It's the luck where humans, I think, have a little more. Attribute checks. So if PC has a relevant attribute skill for the possible background. So, say if you want to climb a wall, use a strength check. If there's a long wall, maybe, use one of your other attributes. Let's say, I think endurance, constitution, yeah, con. Because it's again, easier to make you fatigued and so on. And here are your actual skills. Intelligence, charisma for animal lore, and it gives examples of what are part of it. You can also expand upon this yourself by using a bit of common sense. Like athletics, climbing, running, swimming. So yeah. There's quite a good few skills here. You can also add your own if you wish. Just to have something extra in the game. But these are very, very general, very open, so I think probably don't really need any, in my opinion. Equipment, common gear, gives like examples of common gear. Most of them cost 1d3 silver. That can be done on the fly, obviously. Uncommon gear is 3d10 silver, and rare gear is 5d10 plus 50. Obviously, if you're in a small village or town, you're going to have just common gear. You can get peg legs because you can lose limbs in this. So yeah. Also, I need to mention this. There's like ship systems in this, so you can have your own ships and you be pirates. So if you lost a leg, just saying. See, there's more stuff here. Like one of the things you can get is yellow lotus powder, and one of the I think is linked to one of the backgrounds. Your character can have an addiction to it.
So you're basically like a crackhead or a meth head, which you can't just adding more stuff you can do. Obviously, poppy milk, is like milk of the poppy because Game of Thrones, of course. Thieves' tools, smelling salts, troll blood ointment, basically a numbing cream. And weapons properties and nat 19s. Most weapons have some additional properties as noted in their description, and all cause a bonus effect on a natural roll of 19 on a d20, also known as a nat 19 effect. In most instances, this will be a roll on the appropriate trauma table. So you'll have a look at feudal weapons and the trauma tables. Actually, I think you can bring up the trauma table here. This is the GM screen version. So you can just print this off and have it separately if you don't want to be flipping through the book all the time. So a blade trauma. So your target's impaled. Auto weapon damage at the start of their turn. Unimpaled requires a strength or a con if unopposed. If you get stabbed in the eye, obviously it's considered partial blindness because you are blind in one eye. There's also full blindness, which example can be done if some creature or monster or person, NPC, casts a spell and you're contemporary blind. You're going to be having a disadvantage on your rolls. You're going to be easier to hit. Yeah, so this GM table is brilliant. Special metals, which can coat a grey axe +1. That's gonna be more expensive than just a normal axe. Then if you have it's coated with, say, silver, that's another 300 silver, which is actually kind of funny. But it's a silver coated weapon, so it's going to be good against lycanthropes, for example. Think Witcher. Here's an example of, here's a battle axe. There's 1d8 damage. And a nat 19, it does a 1d8 +4 damage, and then you get blade trauma. Breaking open doors and chests. So it gives you an example of what weapons and stuff you can use for other things. So on a nat 19, you'll get the blade trauma. On a nat 20, you just get that. So you roll on, obviously, the trauma tables. Armor. Lots and lots of armor. Obviously, you can call them what you want, and you can add special traits onto them as well, because later on in the book it has stuff about magical items. Animals: hunting bird, snake, war dog, monkey. Because you all need a little monkey. Oh, being a pirate with a peg leg and having a monkey. Come on, is there anything better than that? Donkey or pony, riding horse, war horse, vehicles and ships, cart, wagon, rowboat, longboat, sloop, and that's galley and warship. Master Forge gear, easy way to make things better if you come across them. Doing things. So it's about the different types of checks you're going to be doing, attribute checks. So again, your attribute checks are going to be roll under. So if you need to roll a 12 on a d20, if your roll is, say, a 13, but then you have your bonuses. So if your bonus of +2 to attribute check, you then minus the 2 away from the total. And here's the chart for great successes and terrible failures. Gives an example: rolling equal to or less than half the attribute score, rounded down, is a great success. And so if you needed, a 13, a great success is considered 6. A terrible failure is 20. So if you get a great success, you ace it. You make it look like you've been doing this your whole life. And group checks, montages are cool as well. So if you're trying to do something epic, you need a total of 6 successes, and say there's 3 characters. You each have to pick what attribute score you're going to use, say what you're going to do, to help complete the task at hand. And yeah, it's lots of fun. It gets the emergent play going more. It gets people thinking about what their character is doing. It's not just, oh, I look at this skill, I have this skill. I can only use this because my paper says I have this skill. Oh, I don't have a skill. Ooh, that's one thing I hate about games is attribute scores are a gateway to doing things. That's the way it should be. Skills are then things you're proficient in, that you gain a bonus in. Encounter rolls, roll 2d6 and it tells you what the reaction is going to be. You can also use activity dice, which is something that's great. That's part of it. It's one of the dice that came with the Kickstarter version. Obviously, your dagger it's a threat. Your people symbol is socializing. Your food symbol is clearly eating. I use examples of different things these could be, and you don't have to follow. Oh, it must be. They're working, making or repairing a den. It doesn't have to be that. This is an example of something you come across. The foot symbol, it's obviously they're traveling somewhere, going somewhere, coming from or to, but they're doing an activity while doing it, resting. They could be asleep. You know? It gives an example. Hanging over injury or sickness, waiting for something, sleeping, relaxing, recovering. So I think I'm going to leave this here. I'll pick this up again in another maybe day or two. I'll post another video. There is a lot to go through this. I'm only on page 69. Influencing NPCs. There's a lot to go through this. I think the other bits will be a bit quicker. But yeah, again, thanks again for listening, guys. I'll get more out as soon as I can. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon.